This is day 107. A viewpoint is earned. I remember it vividly. I was in my early 20s, stepping into my first major technical job. The excitement of starting fresh in a new career had me brimming with enthusiasm. One afternoon, I found myself outside with one of the senior engineers during his smoke break. He was a grumpy man, the kind whose complaints about the company seemed endless. While he vented, I, young and eager, decided it was a good time to share my perspective. I laid out my optimistic take on the job, the company, and the opportunities ahead. He gave me a sideways glance, one eyebrow slightly raised, and said words that have stayed with me ever since. "You don't deserve to have a view on this yet. You haven't earned it." At the time, I bristled at his comment. It seemed dismissive, maybe even a little rude. But over the years, I've come to understand the wisdom in what he said. A viewpoint isn't something you're entitled to just because you have ideas. It's something you earn through experience, through showing up, making mistakes, and learning what works and what does not. There's an illusion of instant expertise. In today's world, we often flip this idea on its head. We glorify youth, quick success, and instant fame. We encourage young people to make their voices heard, and when someone articulate and confident steps forward, we hold them up as if they possess wisdom beyond their years. This isn't to say young voices don't matter, of course they do. Fresh ideas and enthusiasm are always valuable, but a viewpoint that carries weight is different. A truly credible perspective isn't formed in a vacuum or by sheer force of personality. It's shaped by time, trial, and sometimes failure. Ideas are great in theory, but until they've been tested, until they've gone through the furnaces of reality, they're just that, ideas. There's something transformative about living through experiences, wrestling with challenges, and reflecting on outcomes. That's what turns an opinion into a viewpoint that might be worth hearing. So, recently I had lessons from a seasoned voice. Last night, I had the opportunity to listen to a man who has spent decades in his field. He was calm and deliberate, speaking with a weight that only comes from years of hard-earned wisdom. As I listened, I realized how much I still have to learn. Though I built up my own experiences and feel confident in my knowledge, his words challenged me to reconsider some of my assumptions. What struck me most wasn't just the content of what he said, but the authority in which he spoke. You could sense that his conclusions were not hastily drawn. They were the product of countless experiments, failures, and adjustments over the years. It was humbling and inspiring. When someone like that speaks, it's worth listening. His viewpoint wasn't just handed to him, it was earned, and it carried the weight of his journey. There's a lot of value in listening to earned voices. There's something powerful about stepping back and seeking out voices that have stood the test of time. Too often, we're quick to share our thoughts without stopping to consider whether we've truly earned the right to weigh in. The world doesn't need more noise, it needs more wisdom. And wisdom by its very nature requires patience. When we take the time to listen to those who have walked the path before us, we gain more than just information, we gain perspective. We learn from their missteps and victories. We see the bigger picture, and perhaps most importantly, we cultivate the humility to recognize that our viewpoints are constantly evolving. So you can earn your own viewpoint. Earning a viewpoint doesn't mean you have to be silent until you've reached some arbitrary milestone. It means approaching life with curiosity and humility. It means willing to admit when you don't know something and committing to learning from those who do. It means testing your ideas, failing, and trying again until you can speak with the authority of experience. The grumpy engineer I met all those years ago wasn't wrong. At the time, I hadn't earned a view of the workplace because I simply hadn't lived it yet. I hadn't struggled through tight deadlines, handled office politics, or learned the nuances of balancing professional expectations with personal values. Now, years later, I understand his point. The most meaningful viewpoints, the ones that inspire, teach, and guide, are the ones that are forged over time. So let's slow down and listen. Let's seek out those who've earned their perspective, and let's learn from them. And while we're at it, let's put in the work to earn our own. A viewpoint isn't given, it's earned. And the process of earning it is where the real growth happens.